another natural disaster. Okay, enough singing along. Let's get started. Now, what is this Magic Trio's fact tracker book about? Well, it turns out it's about tsunamis. Not only tsunamis, though, it's also about other natural disasters. Kind of like a previous natural disaster book, though. Anyway, this is one of those important ones, but let's talk about that later. Alright, so here, this talks about a disaster. Now, you might have heard about this girl. At 10 years old, at December 26, 2004, Tilly Smith, a schoolgirl from England, went on vacation with her family in Thailand. And then she saw that the ocean was like a boiling, sizzling of water. And then she remembered what 2 weeks ago happened in her school. She remembered learning about this one important fact. And that was that tsunamis happen under these conditions, and you can predict that it will happen with these conditions. And with this, she screamed, told her parents, who they also screamed in the hotel. And then this happened. They were able to save hundreds and hundreds of lives. And she eventually met Bill Clinton in the UN, by the way. And so yeah, that is really, really cool. Also, meteorologists tried to do that, but they couldn't. And now let's talk about earthquakes. Now, earthquakes, to me, are one of the awesomest and the most interesting natural disaster ever. I mean, they happen like this, like landslide, and when they there are rough edges, and the rough edges hook. And when they dehook, they create so much force that it could be like, if my hands were an earthquake, then it would be this much force. Bang. Literally, just enough to shake the camera that's recording me now a little bit. Which, in real terms, is a lot. And that's how earthquakes work. But also, they're also the causes of a lot of other natural disasters. Like tsunamis, sometimes landslides, and etc. And speaking of tsunamis, let's talk about tsunamis. No, not the dragon from Wings of Fire. Tsunamis! Now, tsunamis are basically giant waves. They are probably caused by these three things: volcanoes, earthquakes, meteor crashes, and landslides, which should be called sea slides because these landslides happen in the ocean. And tsunamis are basically big waves, which is pretty big. And they could go inland like 650 miles inland at the quickest speeds possible. They're so fast, in fact, that most people have been killed by these. Now let's talk about volcanoes. Now, volcanoes are like pimples on the earth. Because pimples are like really annoying that they just pop and they're filled with gross stuff. But technically, volcanoes are like that, except instead of gross stuff, it is lava, or shall I say magma. And also, they're about a lot of things. They also technically pop when the magma turns into lava when it spurts out. Kind of like shield volcanoes, except they're more like cone shaped or whatever. So, and they're mostly found, most of them are found in the Ring of Fire. We don't know how many volcanoes are on Earth extinct or alive or still active. But other than that, we still don't know. But most of them are found in the Ring of Fire, which is a ring that surrounds the coasts that touch the Pacific Ocean. And it sort of looks like a ring of fire because of a lot of things. Now let's talk about landslides and avalanches. Now, landslides and avalanches are basically the same thing, except landslides happen on land with rocks and dirt. But for avalanches, it happens with, instead of rocks and dirt, even though they probably do contain rocks, they use snow, which is pretty big. When you go to the rescue, it's a pretty big thing that happens. To the rescue, you have to rescue a lot of people. People have to be able to rescue other people in the terms of natural disasters. Aftershocks, during the shocks, before the shocks. In all those 3 times, you have to be able, if you want to rescue some people, you have to be able to rescue them in all these 3 times. I'm not going to say how, because I'll just lengthen the video, but I'm just going to end the video right now. But if you did learn something here, I'd just say I'm mostly impressed by how the book actually just described all of these in detail, especially the pictures. And I like how all these pictures are drawn and stuff. Also about how they're explained is one of the key factors why I like all these Matter Trios fact trackers. Also how they're related to books. Actually, it's not this book, even though it's sort of related. It's actually the last Matter Treehouse normal reader level book, 28th. High Tide in Hawaii. But I just like how Mary Pope Osborne, Natalie Pope Boyce, and Mary Pope Osborne's husband, Will Osborne, all intertwine the fiction series with the non-fiction series. But either way, I give this a full star rating. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next episode. Shunan out and peace.